This is an earlier question about launching the Anacrusis and how we approached it, and I was talking about some other stuff in this video. And Kickstarters are their own beast. So the reason why, as I talk about launching the next game and approaching it and how we talk about it, is I don't talk about Kickstarters. Kickstarter is its own beast that you have to spend a lot of time on. And it's a lot of focus on the Kickstarter, right? Because if you fail the Kickstarter, either you should stop that project because the world's told you it's not a good choice, or you're just going to double down. Everyone doubles down. Everyone just keeps going after it. And so, yeah. But you have to spend a lot of time railing around the Kickstarter. And that's hard. Now, the question of should we have used Steam closed playtest versus early access is really just a question of we were running out of money and needed to launch on early access, right? We're a small studio. We have limited funds. That was it. We also thought the game was in a good spot. It was rough, but we thought we could recover from that roughness, and we probably really did. There's no money out there at that point. That point was already the start of kind of this downslide of no money. But so whatever, that's where that happened. But for the new stuff, I wouldn't do that. And it's interesting because in our Discord, there's some conversation around this, and it brought up, someone was talking about investing more time in my YouTube videos, making sure that I'm like making icons and doing like all of this work for them versus kind of the seat of the pants way I do it. And I explained there's no way in hell I will do it. In the making of these videos, I like these conversations. Like I wish there was a way, and then these off the top of my head kind of back and forth conversations I love. Actually making a produced video on the list and rank, if I had a rank order of things I want to work on and spend my time on, they don't exist. Like you would have to dig a hole. Like I was saying, you would have to hire somebody. That woman who built her own little labyrinth under her house. I'd have to hire her for like 10 years just to dig straight down, and then put a nuclear bomb down there and explode that bomb, and just keep going down. And it still wouldn't be on that list if it went down that far, because YouTube and this are a tool. They're not a goal. I have no goal to make videos. It is just part of the process for what I want to do is make games. And I will say to every developer out there, the biggest mistake people make again and again is confusing tools and goals. If I make my goal making videos, there's a point where I'm not going to grow as a creator because I don't have that, what big YouTube or TikTok creators do, right? They speak in absolutes, they rally around you, and they're not all of them. And on the YouTube side, there's just a bunch of scams out there. If somebody's selling you their course to go become a game developer and just you will go watch their, no, just don't. Seriously, don't. And a person's just like listening to a whole bunch of people, and all of them are just like the same boat of just like, in a court of law, would I call them a scam? I don't know. But in casual parlance, yeah, I'm calling them a scam. Like, they're just not going to make games. Like, there's a whole cottage industry of people who don't make games, but talk about making games and show you videos of making games and show you how to make games, but they're not making games. And so with that, I don't want to do that. I want to make games. I left Valve because I wanted to make games. That's crazy, right? They're making games, don't get me wrong, but I wanted a faster timeline to fail at. I don't know. Hey, hit make artifact. But, right? So I want to make games. And so all of this is just in service of that, of games. If I didn't have to do this, I wouldn't probably. Because I'm still self-conscious about the whole face thing going on and everything else. And this also takes a lot of time. And I don't think people understand how much time something takes away from you, even when you're doing it. Like, because you could say, hey, you just did this video in 5 minutes. That's all it took. I mean, my brain, though, processed this versus I'm thinking about the backstory and the story and the world for the thing I'm working on. I would much rather sit there and stare at a wall blankly for an hour and come up with these thoughts and formulate them and then write down a little paragraph of those things. That all takes time. That all takes something out of me. It takes out of me of like I'm play around with testing some design ideas or a level or seeing some art thing or watching some video because I don't understand how to do the lighting in this section in the way that I want to do it or whatever. But those all take time. And if making these videos take a bunch more time, then I'm not going to get to do that. And then on top of all of that, there's this thing called rest. There's this thing called not making your game. A thing called taking a break, which you need to do. No matter how much you love what you're doing, you occasionally need to walk away from it and go, I'm just going to take a break from it. I'm going to screw around today. I'm not going to do anything. And you need that reset, right? And that makes you better. But it's that thing of when you wake up in the morning, what are you thinking about? Ignoring loved ones and family and cats. I don't want to be thinking about making videos. I want to be thinking about the game I'm making. I want to be thinking about the story I want to tell. I want to be thinking about all of those things. And if I start thinking about making videos, then I'm screwed because I'm not going to be that good at making the videos. So at some point, then the whole video thing's not going to take off. I'm not going to be making like, hey, I'm a professional YouTuber or TikToker. And then I'm going to be like, well, this sucks. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I'm going to stop doing it. And then that's going to kill the game thing, which is the thing I wanted. So before anything's allowed to leap on the train of making the game, it's a hard push. It was a hard decision to start making any of these clips ever, right? And then actually it's because of you, the community, that I'm like, oh, I actually like this because I miss the back and forth conversation. I miss becoming smarter by listening to other people talk. And so this became an outlet for that. And so then I thought that was worth keeping on the train of making a game. But otherwise, I cut everything. I cut it to the bone because it is so easy. It is so freaking easy to have some distraction that you think is just like, oh, I'm going to make the website and it's going to be really pretty and I'm going to spend a month on it. Now all of a sudden, you're a month behind from where you were. Like, just if I could impart onto anybody anything, it's this. Every time you're working, look at it as just a tool or a goal. Because if it's a tool, you can replace it. You can find something else you can do. You can find something better you can do, or you can just buy it. But if it's a goal, that's something you're going to do. And that is something that only you can do and make. And you may use a bunch of tools that are used by other people or involve other people, but that goal is yours. And that goal is the important thing. So no Kickstarter, no highly produced videos, just me rambling at the camera. And if you don't like it, I'll bring my cats on more. Boris is pretty photogenic. Bella's more beautiful, but she just doesn't want to be on camera.